How's it going, everyone? Wanted to put together a quick video on a deck that I've been finding super fun in EBO1 and see how it does in OP07. This is obviously not the mono green leader that everyone's been talking about. Everyone's on Bonney. We're talking about Kinemon because no one else will. So might as well be us if most people are talking about Bonney, right? Like, let's revisit him, see how he's doing, and see if this is a playable leader in OP07. I personally think there's a lot of interesting combos ever since EBO1 in this deck. I don't know that this is like the final list. I've been doing a little testing, but it is kind of hard right now. If you're on the sim, you know that the West server's on EBO1, the East server's on OP08. So getting an OP07 game is a little inconsistent. And I do find that in the weeks leading up to a set, the player base is like all over the place in terms of like what lists they're running and how well they know their decks. And so there's a lot of kind of free wins on the sim if you're getting someone who's just like picking up a deck for the first time ever. So I don't have a genuine sense of like how good this deck is, how viable this deck is. So we're just kind of going for how it feels in practice games, whether it's kind of playable, whether the combos feel good. And I will say when it works, and it feels really nice, but there's probably room for improvement. The key combo here is you like to go first and play out this Hiyori from EBO1, which lets you trash the Hiyori and play a 5 or less Wano character, then draw 1 card. So the Hiyori replaces itself and then trades the body for one that is 1 cost higher. And we have 2 5-cost characters in the deck, so 8 total targets for this. That's one of the faults. I think if we had more 5 costs, this could be really something. But one of them is the well-known double attack banished Yamato from OP01. So really, really good. On your 3-Dawn turn, you're putting this character out, which very few decks will be able to remove. I think for Mori to remove that at this stage, you would need to Ice Age it and then play Absalom from Trash. So there's some really strong potential here. It's really, really good. And then the other one is Yamasan a vanilla, but it is a 7k body on your 3-Dawn turn. That's like a pretty good trade. So that's really good. If you're going second, you can always play Okiku on your 2-Dawn turn, which is really nice. And then obviously our top end is Odin, a really good character. A little reckless into a Katakuri if your opponent runs the 8-cost Katakuris, because they can kind of easily put it back onto your life. But I think the best top end the deck has available, you could consider the 10-drop Dofis. I haven't tested that too much. Like, maybe that's an alternative. I do have 2 of the Hody Jones just in case you need that kind of like last game or last round finisher, just a rush character. And then the rest is just kind of Wano package stuff. The Rosinante blocker, because it's honestly like one of the best green blockers. It's so good. Only 2 of the Ryumas. I don't think it is as good in this deck as it is in Perona. So I run 2 just to kind of round things out, but not super necessary. And then Straw Sword, which is a really, really good way to get around any blocker, or just rest a character that you want to KO so that you can survive another turn. But yeah, that's the deck. I don't know. Again, I don't think this is the final list. I think maybe it's even like too Wano-centric. There's probably like generically good green cards that we can put in here that are non-Wano. And then the other thing is in OP07, we get the Otama Searcher, which is really great because it's a 2K. And so when you don't need to search, you can kind of counter out with an extra 2K. So it just essentially adds 4 2Ks into the deck, because if you weren't running this, you would be running 4 Momos, and that is a 1K. So it's like a really nice addition to the deck that kind of, you could do 8 searchers if you really wanted to. I don't think that's the best way to construct the deck, because you do want to get like strong bodies on board. So this is a good way to add a little extra value to your searcher, because now it's a 2K counter instead of a 1K. So it's a really nice kind of OP07 add. Outside of that, I didn't see too many cards that might be super applicable to Kinemon in OP07, but there are like some generically really good cards that are being added. So things to consider, like the Bonney is really good. Just kind of stalls the game out a little bit. Obviously is not applicable with the Kinemon's ability, but it is a 5-cost 6k power character with a 1k counter, so kind of worth running in a lot of green decks, I think, if you're trying to stall out the game a bit. And then there's a lot of like Fishman support and Supernova support. So outside of that and the Otama, I'm not sure exactly what you would run here, but there are things to consider. And maybe there are like green cards from older sets that you could slot in here instead of some of these Wano cards that are just not as relevant anymore and not as kind of played anymore. But I think this is a really fun list, so let's try to get some games and see how we do. All right, this is my very first game against a Vegapunk, who I think is a super interesting leader. Let's see how he plays. We are going first. We do have the Searcher and we have the Yamasan. So if our Searcher finds a Hiyori, we're looking good. No Hiyori, no Hiyori. We can grab I think Yamato would be good because we can play either that or Ryuma on our 3-Dawn turn. And Vegapunk obviously is a 2-life leader that cannot attack, but can place an Egghead card from his hand face up on the top of his life or into play. So on his first turn, he can go up to 3 life and kind of continue to do that. It's a very interesting ability. And I'm guessing he could also start out into play. Interesting. Okay. And so the Atlas gets to be played for free. So that's crazy. Crazy good. Oh, there is the Hiyori. Okay. You're not the only one who gets some value. So he gets the Atlas for free, but we get to play Hiyori, trash Hiyori, play Yamato, or Yamasan rather. And now we have a 7K versus his 6K. So that's looking pretty good. I'm not 1,000% or not even 100% rather on how you're supposed to be playing against this. Oh, dude, the KO is crazy. That, I'm guessing you just want to throw out resources. So if I win board, he's kind of done because he's trying to play things from his hand. So we'll try doing that. If we could rest, we could KO the Loath pretty easily. So we will hold on to the Ryuma. I think we'll do... this. And then the Ryuma will kill the Lilith when he swings with it. And then we can try to use this to kill the Atlas. But not a lot of counter power, I'm guessing, in this deck because you're just trying to put things in life, put things on board. It becomes a little hard to also counter out on top of that. So we'll see. We have 1 2K in hand, 1 1K. We do have our Odin, so we could play Odin next turn if they kill something. This is a crazy deck. I wonder if there's a way to cook with this. Only 2 life is wild. Because even if you run a lot of triggers, like outside of these guys, like just other trigger cards, you almost have no opportunity to get them in life because so few. It's like 2 out of 50 cards we put there face down. A lot of on-play KO. Oh, it's a activate main KO. Okay. Okay. So we actually can't KO them because they opted to. Interesting. I think we go for this. Yep. Get no value out of that. Okay. So I'm guessing this is kind of the way to play against Vegapunk, just really starve them out of resources. If they swing, we'll play the Ryuma. If not, we will play the Odin. Another Lilith. Gets to replace itself. He has a Shaka. Okay. It's a blocker. And then the Nami. Okay. I'll give the 2K so we can still play the blocker if we need it. Okay, perfect. Oh, geez, a lot of Odins. Okay. Let's start with that. Start with that. Let's do that. All right. And then I think next turn we play the Odin and see if he swings here. I'm curious what the top edge is here. Is it like the 10-drop ace? That might be a good card because you can heal if you're at low enough life. Yeah. I don't think Vegapunk made much of a splash in the Eastern meta. But if someone could get it to work, I would definitely play it. Okay. Yep, just another heal. This card does not get played, so it's actually not even that good as a heal. Okay, rest the blocker. That's fine. We'll do that. Yeah, and let's leave it there. I think we can feasibly go for game next turn. We got no blockers. We can swing. He'll rest this, but we can bring it back for 3 Dawn. All right, that's one swing. If not, I mean, I think clearing board is always a viable move here. So 1K. Another 2K, that's good. Is this going to be the 10 drop ace? 10 drop ace. Okay, so it does not get rushed. Oh, see, this is where the straw sword comes in huge. Okay, so first thing we want to do, I think, just get that very last card out of hand. I mean, we just win here. Yep, okay. 6, 6, 8. Set them as active. I think this is pretty much game. Like, yes, you have 4 life, but you got 1 character. You can't attack with leader. I'm kind of good to go here. So maybe he plays this. Maybe he puts this in life. Okay. Yep. So he gets to play this. Oh yeah. Just yeah. I would concede there. There really is not a viable shot. So pretty good indicator of why this deck has struggled. I think in the Eastern meta, it just runs out of resources so quickly. Yeah, and putting things in life from your hand is rough. It's rough. It limits your ability to counter. The 10 drop is an interesting card here. I'm curious what the rest of his list looks like. It's such a cool deck idea. It is a shame, but we're not here to talk about Vegapunk. We are talking about Kinemon. That was a pretty good showing for Kinemon. Like against a deck like that, like Kinemon really put in work. And I mean, the next couple of turns would have been crazy. We had the Yamato double tech banish would have just, I mean, completely decimated an already losing game for this guy. All right, let's see if we can do another match. That was a bit of a long one, so maybe we'll do one more. I'd love to see something against, like a red purple law or something like that. So let's try to find that. All right, we do have our jewelry Bonney here. Not a lot of playable stuff here, so let's mulligan. Opening hand, not great, but Ryuma can be played, so we'll take that. Oh, and if they search here, we can actually KO the Bonney with the Ryuma play, so that's really good for us. 2K. So this will be interesting. Let's see if Kinemon can take it from Bonney. I think it's a good showing for the deck. Rouge. And then he, of course, can rest. And then we play that. Okay. That's good for us. And then, of course, rests that. Do you double counter out here? Nice. All right, it's 2 cards out of hand. And then, of course, play this. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Only 1 attack on board from the Bonney here. Our cards are looking a little low, but our board's very impressive. I actually have no idea what Bonney runs, so okay. So opting to get rid of the Yamato there, which is totally valid. All right, and then I think getting rid of this is a good move, especially because of that ability, which this person has not been utilizing at all, if I'm being honest, but okay, and then we get an Odin out. All right, so we're looking good. We got our Odin out. They have nothing on board. So we have been controlling this game pretty aggressively. I'm guessing a 10 drop Dovi is in this deck. Ooh, Hody Jones. Hody Jones works. That's fine. That's fine. They took a life. We still got this. So let's do 10k on the Hody Jones. Dropped Bonney. Let's do another 10k on the Hody Jones. All right, let's do 5k. Let's do 5k. Let's do 3. All right, I mean, I think we're in a solid spot here. Maybe a 10 drop Dofi comes down. Ooh, 8 drop Kid. It's not going to do much when we got all this going on. The Rosinante is obviously a very, very strong card. We actually don't need to open with the Okiku because of the effect of the Rosinante, so that's gone. All right, so he'll clear one of the bodies. Probably we can use a blocker on the other. Hopefully he doesn't have a second Rosinante in hand. That's why Rosinante is one of the best blockers in the game. Block there. Second Kid. Okay, that's 7k, so yep. Let's do a 10k here. Oh wow. Okay. Let's do a 2k here. Let's do an 8k here. They're thinking about it. I really hope they're not just going to go AFK because I won. That would be a very lame thing to do in an unranked game on the sim. Okay, they were just disconnecting. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, we absolutely crushed that. That Kitamon kills Bonney. I'm going to definitively say that after one game on unranked sim. This is probably, meta-defining news. I'm being sarcastic if anyone's watching and is unclear on that, but that was pretty good. Like, I don't know where this Bonney player ranks on Bonney players. Probably like still learning the deck like everyone else is. It's very early for the West to be on OP07. You still got like 3 weeks, maybe like 2.5. Either way though, like I think the way the deck was playing, we were doing pretty well, and we got some really good value. Definitely an interesting game for the Kinemon. We'll see if we can find one more just to kind of round it out. But yeah, I'm happy with how this deck is doing so far. All right. Yeah, let's see how we do against a Katakuri. The Yamato's so good here, but we wouldn't get them out. We are going first. I don't have the Hiyori. Okay, let's see if we can get some of those cards. All right, let's get the Yamato. A pretty weak opening hand, but we'll play with what we can. Ideally, I should have probably just kept the Yamato hand, but you wouldn't have been able to play that until our 5-Don turn, which is like, not great value for this deck. But we can get the Ryum out there, which should help a little bit if you play Sparrow on curve or anything like that. All right, starting with that. I think we will play our Yamato next turn and kill the Brule with an Otama swing, which will be good. Definitely interesting to see Brule and Katakuri and OP07. You don't really see that as much. A lot of them have opted for Sanji entirely. If they're not playing Sanji, they're all playing Sanji. But yeah, interesting to kind of give a trigger spot to Brule. I guess the one benefit is the Brule does not require you to trash a card, which might matter a lot for the deck at this point. But you have like Okiku and all this stuff, and Nekomamushi that's just like free. Yeah, I would think you don't care about that as much. All right, there's the Parasparrow. So I think we're going to start with this. We're actually going to put Wand on our Otama, swing into that. Let's see. If they counter here, we're just going to go face. Like that's, yeah, okay. That's fine. We're going to face. We have other ways to rest that character. It's not huge for us. All right, they're already down to 2 life. We are going to trash there because they're looking low. I think a heal there would be really good for them. And now, because we trashed, if they run a Gadatsu, we can't lose any of these to Gadatsu, which is really nice. They can still, I guess they could play. I don't know if Reject is banned on this side. I think Reject is already banned on this side, so we can't play Reject. They could play Kingdom Come, but that would put them down in 1 life, which is even better for us. And we do have the Hody Jones on standby if we need it. A simple 7k into a 6k is unfortunately for you not going to connect. You're going to counter out of that. And then with 5 Dawn, you could have played a Gadatsu, but unfortunately we did trigger Soul Focus there. I will do another counter, and then I'm guessing Sanji's coming down. They're thinking it through. If they play Sanji, I'm tempted to just play Hody Jones because I don't think I can lose next turn with the 4K encounter I have. So it might just be like a good way. Oh, okay. Giving up a blocker. I think questionable decision. Maybe not the most experienced Katakuri player from that call. Yeah, I would say, who's to say? Maybe they're cooking, but probably not the move. Okay, Jesus Christ, I got 2 of those, man. 7, and then I think we do 8. And put the Rosinante down. So Lucas is such a cool card to get off trigger, but does not happen often enough. All right, low on counter. All right. They could Katakuri and put the Brûlée in life. I think we still win because then they just don't have enough attacks to kill me or clear my board. And we do, of course, have our handy dandy Hody Jones ready to save the day if they put blockers down. Yep, let's do a 1k there. If they go 7 here, they're probably playing 7 Mom. Oh, what are they looking for? 2k maybe? Oh, there's 7 Mom. Play it. Secure the game. Yep, I will counter out here, and then I can block the next one. I mean, I wouldn't say this is probably like the most indicative game of how this matchup might go, but it does give you kind of a sense of it. It's pretty good, I would say. We get characters out early, so we have good bodies on the board. He did have a particularly bricky hand. I guess he could have swung 6k, we block. He plays Sanji, we play Hody Jones, we just win. So, yeah, I mean, he had some good triggers. The Soul Focus, I think, is an interesting tech. Not a lot of Katakuris run it because if it's not in your life, it's kind of useless. And it was in his life, so he kind of got the most value out of it. And we still took it, which I think is really good. Some interesting, the Sanji's an interesting choice here. You got the 2-drop Sanji as well. So maybe a bit of an older school OP07 deck. I think we see the ace as well, or is that the 5 ace or the 10 ace? It's 5 ace. Either way, I think this deck is interesting. We have an interesting deck here. You know, don't sleep on Kinemon. I think I always encourage people to kind of revisit older leaders, even if they don't get direct support, because sometimes it's not about the cards they get, but it's about what everyone else is playing in the meta. And I think Kinemon has a spot on it, especially with Sakazuki gone and Great Eruption gone. Like, removal is a little harder for black. You're able to kind of rest characters and attack directly into them, so you can starve some people out. And then the Hiyori comp was just really, really cool. Get some early value out of the Yamato or the Yamasan. Either way, Kinemon's cool. Let me know what you guys think. I have some other decks that I'm cooking up, other things I'm testing out. As we get closer to OP07 and the sim updates to OP07 on the West, I'll be able to test a little easier. And yeah, catch me in the regionals in a couple weeks. Hopefully we can get another top. And, you know, let's do what we can. Let's have some fun. Let's play some off-meta decks. And yeah, if you guys have ideas or thoughts, let me know in the comments.